I'm making these posts because I'm seeing a lot of VTubers and artists making a mistake. You are sabotaging yourself. I know what I'm going to say is going to be considered a bit of a hot take. Feel free to tell me why it is, but this is how I see things, and I'm not going to back down from it until I can see evidence proving me wrong. With that out of the way, let's get to it. So there are two things that came out of Twitter. The first one is that Twitter is going to have a change in how the block function works. And basically, what is different is that currently the block function is you block somebody, they will not be able to see you at all. But the current plan is, the revamped block function is, the person you blocked can still see your posts, can still see what you talk about, but they are unable to interact with you in any way. That is the first change that has caused a lot of outrage. And for one, I want to get this out of the way first, because this is not very important. To me, it's not very important. It's a nothing burger. And you know why it's a nothing burger? Odds exist. Someone blocks you. It is very easy to just change to an alt account and you have full access to the person who blocked you all over again. So what's the point? It just reduces one step. Now, granted, it's a very confusing choice to change the functionality of the block function, but is there a reason for outrage? Because let me tell you a bit of a story. When you get banned on Facebook or when you get blocked on Facebook, you can still see other people's posts, the posts of the person who blocked you. You just can't interact with them. You can't share them, and that's it. No one on Facebook batted an eye when that happens. And I would think that Twitter, you shouldn't bat an eye of this block function. It's a small matter to me. So with that being said, I will move on to the next big contentious issue. This is the contentious issue. I suppose a lot of you have seen this repeatedly. X is essentially data scraping you. They're telling people who are using the website that a higher likelihood their posts, their art, whatever, data scraping. So it's going to be used for their, among other things, AI training algorithm, generative AI, and all those related topics. It's a cause for outrage. I will not deny that. It is a worrying thing. I also will not deny that. And it has spooked a lot of people. Fact of the matter is, it is a big bummer that AI is going to scour X, in this case, for artist art or whatever, and possibly using to train their AI. Because of that, I'm sure you are aware, a noticeable number of VTubers and artists will be planning to leave X, or at least post less on X. And instead, they will be opening accounts on Bluesky. Basically, after Elon took over Twitter and renamed it into X, Jack Dorsey set up Bluesky. Bluesky was already set up a long time ago, I think about at least a year ago, before Elon Musk took over Twitter. When Elon Musk took over Twitter, Jack Dorsey hard pushed and marketed Bluesky to everyone who were afraid to use Twitter under Elon Musk. Basically, a lot of artists, Japanese artists or Western artists, what have you, are going to go to Bluesky. And some VTubers have already posted about how they're going to Bluesky. And so I will tell you from my observation the reasoning for why they're moving to Bluesky. Basically, because of this screen cap of this TOS change about AI machine learning. I want the artists here in this stream right now and VTubers in this stream right now, tell me, this is the main reason you are moving to Bluesky, right? Just let me know if you are following. And basically the reasoning you're moving to Bluesky is to avoid this X AI machine learning possibly taking some of your information. Well, I'm going to show you a series of headlines and I want you to just give it a think when you read them, okay? Let's start with this one. Meta, Mark Zuckerberg, he has been exposed and it's still happening right now as we are talking. He has his own homegrown AI scouring the internet and extracting all kinds of data for their own machine learning algorithms. What they're doing is they aren't just going to Facebook to extract data. No. They're not just using Instagram, they're not just using Facebook, they're not just using Threads. They are going to other places, whether it is DeviantArt, Pixiv, Dunburu, wherever the AI is going to dig. Wherever you post your art, Meta's AI is going to get it. Eventually. And that's just one. Now, let me show you something else. This Now you think about it. Not just Meta under Mark Zuckerberg. Apple has their own AI. Nvidia has their own AI. And who knows how many AI corporations have their own AI machine learning on your content. Now let's just scroll down this article just a little bit. Tech companies are turning to controversial tactics to feed their data-hungry AI models, vacuuming books, websites, photos, and social media posts, all without the awareness of the creator of those content. Are you following me so far? Especially the artists and the VTubers who are here? Let me tell you, what does it mean? Well, for one, it doesn't matter where you go. Whether you are on X, Twitter, whether you're on Facebook, whether you're on Instagram, or whether you're on Bluesky, it doesn't matter. Because these AIs, they will find you and they will take your data eventually. But here's a little bit of an additional information. Anyway, I want to give a shout out to Legal Mindset, Andrew at Legal Mindset, and he also made a very brief talk about this whole situation. He brought up, and I also verified it, there is one very specific way that you can slow down AI from scraping your data. It is basically walling it, making it non-public. Because this AI is meant to scour the internet, finding public posts to build their AI models. So, if you make your content private or behind a paywall, it will slow AI down a lot. Okay? Do you understand? If there is even a slight bit of degree of exclusivity towards accessing someone's art or posts or information, it will make the AI's job a lot harder. So basically, let's say you have an account where you can only view content from other people if you create an account there. Otherwise, all the posts are locked out to you. That would slow down the AI by a lot. The unfortunate truth is, it's just a matter of when, it's a matter of time, but it will slow them down a lot. And with that, I want to bring up something. I'm going to tell you something that may not be very popular, but it is what I believe to be the case, okay? I will show you it right now. This is what X looks like when you don't have an account, when you can't log in. Notice something? You want to access X, what do you need to do? You want to see posts from artists who use X. What do you need to do? It's a very simple thing. There is not a trick question. It is not a trick question. Exactly. Signing up. You need to have an account. And you know what that means? Do you know what that means? No. It is not public. Exactly, Orangey. It is not public. You have to make an X account before you can access posts on X. Let's make a comparison now. Let's have a look. By comparison, all I have to do to access public posts on Bluesky is to just click Bluesky. No sign-ins, no logins, no registering, no paywall. Everything is public. And now I want you to think about it again. Meta AI, Apple AI, Nvidia AI, and many other corporations with their own inbuilt AI, you compare the two. Which is easier to extract data from, X or Bluesky? Exactly right. It is unspeakably easy for the AI to access your art on Bluesky. And do you know what's the one thing that makes things very, very different? What's the punchline? I am reasonably sure Bluesky also has their own AI. Funny, right? Bluesky likely has their own AI, doing the things that you are upset that X is doing. Here's the thing that is the main reason why I wanted to talk about this today, is that the difference between Elon's X and every other social media website other than Elon's is that he tells you it's happening. He tells you data scraping could be happening by their own AI on their posts. But Meta doesn't tell you that. People had to dig. And whether it's from Congress or what have you, people had to dig and people had to force Meta to confess. Elon just tells you straight up. I'm going to open a notepad. I want to engage with you all a thought experiment. Okay? If any VTubers and artists are still watching, I want to engage in a thought experiment. And I want you to just measure it objectively without bias the best you can. So, you have Bluesky and you have X, Twitter. Let's say we're talking about AI data stealing. Let's have something bombastic. Let's have a bombastic word. AI data stealing, for instance. Okay? You have Bluesky, for instance. What AI is stealing from Bluesky posts? As we can see in that short little demonstration, and with credit to Legal Mindset for bringing it up, using the information that we have learned, what can we say? What AI is stealing your data? First is Zuck, Meta AI. They are stealing your data. Next, we have Apple AI, stealing your data. Next, NVIDIA AI, stealing your data. And then, an unknown number of AI corporations, such as Magic Lab AI, Stable Diffusion. The list is endless. So basically, at least 4 AIs, at least. It's likely going to be way more than that, but at least 4 AIs is stealing your data whenever you post on Bluesky. Are you following me so far? And now, let's compare it with X and Twitter. What AI steals your data on Twitter? Well, you can't really say steal because remember, only X tells you it's doing it. And as long as you keep posting on X, it means you have implied consent. But let's just say, for argument's sake, stealing data. What is the AI stealing your data? That's it. That's all. Only one AI. Remember I told you, you need to create an account to see posts on X. You don't need to do that on Bluesky. Clear enough? The question is consent, and the question is how bad it is. So, with this understanding, can you tell me which one is worse? Objectively. Forget hating Elon for a moment. Tell me objectively which one is worse solely on an AI stealing data perspective between these two choices. I'm making this post because I'm seeing a lot of VTubers and artists making a mistake. You are leaving a sauna and you are instead entering an oven. You are sabotaging yourself. I hope you understand that. I prefer an ugly truth instead of a beautiful lie. So, okay, for argument's sake, let's just say I am completely wrong. Let's just say for argument's sake. Let's just compare Bluesky and X as a matter of just a service, a social media service. I would like to show you something. This is one of thousands of examples of Twitter before Elon took over. Remember I tell you, before Elon took over and kicked out a lot of antis, a lot of people who harass artists for drawing something or someone in an incorrect way or a problematic way, would you like to guess where they have all gone to now? What is the site that is closest to Twitter in the old days? Tell me. Where the antis have gone to. That is right, Bluesky. Mastodon and Bluesky. But let's be fair here. How many Twitter refugees actually use Mastodon? This is just an example. This is a very, very tragic story. Some of you probably have seen it before, but this was a Malaysian artist. There was a very big popular art tag back in 2020 where people draw this Sailor Moon pose in their own art style. And this artist drew his sister with the Sailor Moon art style. The left image. He's like his sister cosplaying, basically. It's homage to his sister. And you know what happened? The tweeters harassed this artist, fixed his art, and said, why is his art skin tone so problematic? And because of that, he went offline. He was chased off the internet. Because Twitter before Elon took over was that type of place. The people who used Twitter back then were that type of people. I would love to say I am lying, but I have been online on the internet long enough to tell you that it is not a lie. Darvishara, these people are still on Twitter, but do you know what? A lot of them have also left. The problem is that the population of antis is very loud and there is still some size to it. A lot of them have been kicked off X and they moved to Bluesky. This is why it is very dangerous, in my opinion, for an artist to go to Bluesky. Now let's keep going. I have another one that I want to talk about. This is also another one back in 2019, 2020. Doxing. Another example, It's very easy for me to dig examples because I have made a lot of posts about Twitters attacking artists over the years. Because of X now, people have become more informed and they know how to assert proper backlash towards people who harass artists. It was a lot harder back then during the old Twitter days. And the only way it could really happen is if some YouTuber talked about it. But now, it's so much easier for people to have their actions being held accountable. Let's keep going. Another one. Another example. Let's keep going. You'll have time to read it. You can pause the VOD to keep reading if you haven't. This one, a bunch of people DM this artist saying their art is crap and they should charge less money for it. You can understand how repulsive that type of behavior is. Now, I want to tell you what website exactly Bluesky is, okay? Do any of you remember how Twitter was before Elon? Remember this guy? He's the CEO that took after Jack Dorsey after he left Twitter. And he said with no uncertain terms, he doesn't care about your free speech. He doesn't care about any of our free speech. Even if we say the tamest thing that breaks no rules, nothing at all. The only rule it may have broken is it hurt someone's feelings. All he cares is keeping the posts that he likes on the site and deleting the posts that he doesn't like off the site and banning people who post it. This is something I will have to give Jack Dorsey some credit, okay? I will preface this by saying I give Jack Dorsey some credit. And I will find the article. Now, I'm not sure how many people of you remember this, but Jack Dorsey left Twitter back in 2020 or so because he didn't like where Twitter was going. Jack Dorsey intended Bluesky to be the alternative to Twitter that was decentralized and free. The original vision of Bluesky, to be fair to him, sounded very attractive. But, as you can see from the headline, Jack Dorsey left. One of you mentioned that Jack Dorsey left, and here is the possible reason why he left. So let's go see what he tweeted out on the hints on why he left. Don't depend on corporations to grant you rights. Defend them yourself using free technology. And this, mind you, came out a day after he left Bluesky. So what do you think happened? You know what I think happened? This is happening all over again. So this is why, as Bluesky is right now, I strongly suggest, I cannot force you all to do it, but I strongly suggest and hope and recommend you never touch that site. You never touch Bluesky. Not because I am pro-X, but because I don't like Bluesky. That's where most of the antis are. If they aren't on Twitter because they got kicked out of it, they have gone to Bluesky. And if any of your art becomes problematic and gets enough traction on Bluesky, you will be harassed. You will be attacked. Because that's where all the antis are. And no one is going to defend you there. Because the only people who use Bluesky are antis. And moving on to that, do you all remember this? This guy, Aaron Rodericks, he was a very big name in censoring a lot of posts during the Twitter days. You all can search the name on Twitter all you want because there is a lot of videos showing his activity and what he has done in censoring a lot of people on Twitter. But guess what? He is now a co-lead for the Trust and Safety Commission on Bluesky. Bluesky is old Twitter, 1-to-1. A lot of very good people, a lot of big names, familiar names running Bluesky from old Twitter. I like to think I don't have to be any more clearer than this. Let me find one more post. Japanese artists migrated to Bluesky, posted their art, gets banned instantly. Now here's the thing you have to remember. VTubers and artists who are watching this stream, whether you're watching it live or you're watching it through a VOD, I want you to understand this. The entirety of Bluesky is an NT. It is run by NTs. Being an NT is the primary population of Bluesky. Being an NT is so heavily normalized on Bluesky. It is part of their community standards. If you're an artist, it's not a matter of whether if you will be banned for your art. It's a matter of when you will be banned for your art. Thank you for dropping by, and I hope it was informative.